The evolution of your marketing will be the catalyst for the evolution of your business, and the evolution of your business will provide you with the freedom to focus on the evolution of your life. This is Evolved Marketing with Andre and Brian. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast. My name is Brian Brewer, and I will be your host today. If you listened in to last week's episode, you already know the story. I'm going to be solo today, and that is because it's summertime. Andre and I had conflicting vacations, but we wanted to make sure that we brought you another valuable episode. We wanted to maintain our consistency and stick with our weekly uploads. So we decided to each do a solo episode. Andre's was last episode, number 37. I highly recommend you go checking it out after you listen to this episode because he dropped some valuable training for you. And he shared his strategy or the strategy he would use to get your first 1,000 followers on social media in 2023. So I thought this would be a good opportunity, since I am a solo host today, to bring you probably a shorter episode, but bring you an episode full of value, of course. And what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to take you through my journey of starting from absolute scratch at zero, just a waiter in the restaurant industry with a newborn baby. And I'm going to take you through my journey of building the business that I built today, or that I have right now. But I'm not just going to tell you my story to show you how much money I made or bore you with the details. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down each step of the journey. I'm going to briefly summarize it for you so you know what worked. And also, I am going to highlight the number one or most important lesson that I learned from that part of the journey that I still use today. Because entrepreneurship, becoming a digital marketer, becoming an affiliate marketer, whatever you want to call it, it's a journey. And in the beginning, you can start making money, but it's going to take some time to get really good. It's kind of like chess, I guess. It takes a couple hours to learn, but a lifetime to master. Well, that's how I see digital marketing and entrepreneurship. So let's just kind of jump right into it here today. And I'll tell you about how I got started. So back in 2012, this is a long time ago, that's where I was. I was working in the restaurant industry. We were living in San Diego. We had a small apartment. We had just had our first child. She was 4 months old when I started. And my wife, we wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom. So all the financial burden was on me. Not to say my wife wasn't working. She was working very hard, taking care of a newborn, pretty much by herself, since we didn't really know anybody in San Diego. But it was a lot of pressure. It kept me away from the family, obviously more than I wanted it to, and I didn't really see any future in what I was doing. So I'll never forget the date. It was October 12th, 2012, and the reason I remember that is because it was 2 days after my wife's birthday. That year, we were so financially strapped I could barely afford to buy her a birthday card. It was a miserable feeling. I felt terrible. I knew I needed to change something. And it's not like we were broke. It's not like we were falling behind on our bills, but we just didn't have anything left over at the end of the month after the diapers and the rent and all the stuff. So that's when I did the first search. I did the Google search. How do you make money online? And obviously I came across a lot of different business models. Some were impossible because I didn't have time. Some were impossible because I didn't have money for things like inventory. That's when I discovered affiliate marketing. And to me, it just made sense. It was like, oh, cool. I can just promote other people's products and get paid a commission. That cuts out so much time. It cuts out so much risk, cuts out so much financial investment. It's like, I'm going to become an affiliate marketer. So the first big idea I had was go to ClickBank, because that's what all the blogs or whatever we researched stuff on at the time had. Like, ClickBank, it's for affiliate marketing. I was like, all right, cool. I checked out ClickBank and realized it was a marketplace for affiliates. You could become an affiliate and you could promote all kinds of different products, mostly digital products, in pretty much any niche that you could possibly imagine. The cool thing about this is because ClickBank offers digital products, they pay high commission. So if you're selling a $40 product, they can pay you like a $30 commission. So it's like, okay, cool. This is pretty good. I don't have to sell high ticket stuff to make a bunch of money. So that was my initial idea. So I found some products and was like, all right, cool. How am I going to promote these things, right? I don't have anything. I don't have an email list. I don't have even a website at this point. I don't have any money for ads. Like, I have nothing, right? Zero, right? How am I going to promote this? So I got creative. And what I did is I selected a product that taught people how to get like writing jobs for social media. Basically, Social media was fairly new at the time, but it was starting to get a little bit of a buzz. And this product taught you how to get writing jobs for social media company, or to manage a social media company's profile by writing content. Essentially, was the idea behind that. It's like, okay, cool. That seems like, an interesting product. It was like $40 or $45. I think it paid like a $30 commission. I was like, cool, let's do this. So I signed up. I got my affiliate link. It's like, how am I going to promote this thing? So my next big idea was to go over to Craigslist. And what if I just spam Craigslist? And obviously that was a horrible idea, but I had nothing. And sometimes in the beginning, you just got to take your best idea and just start failing. I thought it would be cool, but the problem was with Craigslist, it had like an email exchange. So what would happen is if you post something on Craigslist and they email you, it would go through this Craigslist email, and then it would send back to you as Craigslist, basically. And it was to keep the responders' emails private. So the other thing that happened is I couldn't really embed any affiliate links in the post. I was like, oh shoot, that kind of stinks. But then as I was looking around, I found this section of Craigslist that was called gigs, right? Like one-off jobs that people could search and make a little bit of money for. Well, what I noticed in that section is there was no email exchange, meaning if I posted something in the gigs section and someone responded to me, I would get their email address. It's like, okay, I wonder, that's interesting. I wonder if I can use that. So what I did is I posted gigs, basically saying I needed people to write for social media. And I posted that on Craigslist, no links. And what would happen is when people would email me, I would set up a Google email address, and I created like dozens of these, and I would turn on the vacation responder. So basically when people would email me, it would say I was on vacation, but it would just send back an automated response. And that was my first introduction to using an autoresponder, right? And it would basically send them back this terrible pitch for this product. So yeah, I created a bunch of emails. I created a bunch of Craigslist accounts. I posted a bunch of these gigs, and sure enough, I woke up one morning and I made a $30 commission. So am I proud of that? No, not really. Was it a little deceptive? Yeah, probably. But I was proud of it in the sense that I just figured it out. I just created money out of thin air from the internet, right? And the number one thing I learned from that experience, which I immediately quit, I made like 2 commissions. Like, this is stupid, right? I have so much work, and it's just not the type of business I want to run, but it validated the idea that you could make money online for me. And that was big, especially in 2012. But what I learned there, the number one lesson I learned from that experience is that you need content that's discoverable 24/7. Basically, people can find it while you're away. And you need some sort of automated conversion process in the back end, right? So obviously my discoverable content were these gigs posts on Craigslist, and my automated conversion process was the Gmail autoresponder, right? So very primitive, but it worked. So I took those lessons. So I was like, all right, that's great, but I got to do something better, right? I got to create something more sustainable, something that's just more above the board, so to speak. So the next thing I did is after that, is I took that $60 or whatever I made in affiliate commissions, and I reinvested that. So the truth be told, in my entire affiliate marketing journey that's made millions now, I've never been in the red or negative, right? I've never been in debt because I made that money out of thin air, essentially, and then I turned around and reinvested that in hosting and a domain name. And that was going to be my second big idea, is I was going to create a product review blog. The idea here was pretty simple. I would create product reviews. I would try to rank them in Google. And when people would come and read these reviews, obviously at the end of the reviews, there'd be my affiliate link for products on Amazon. And then if people clicked over to Amazon and if they purchased the product I was recommending or any other product from Amazon in the next 24 hours, I was going to get commission. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is much better. So I did my niche research, right? I was like, all right, what do I need? I need something that's not super competitive. I need something that's growing, that people are going to have more interest in over time and stuff like that. And the product I came up with was basically magnesium, zinc, and calcium supplements, because these things all kind of work together. Like, I don't know how I found out this, but basically you need magnesium in your diet, but you also need calcium to help with the absorption of magnesium or something like that. I don't know. I never got too far into it. So don't quote me on that if I'm wrong. But it's like, all right, cool. Those are three things that not a lot of people are writing about, right? I did my Google searches in my niche research and found out like there wasn't really a whole lot of content out there, but it looked like there was going to be growing interest in it. So I created this product review blog talking about all different types of magnesium supplements, zinc supplements, calcium supplements. I created like the top 5 best magnesium supplements pages, the top 5 calcium supplements, all the things, right? I would do my keyword research and it would be like, what, magnesium is best for absorption with calcium and stuff like that. Try to go long tail. And I created this blog and it took me forever to learn how to do it and to become a better writer. And I tested different product reviews and stuff like that. And I finally started ranking for a couple of different search terms. And I started making commissions. And this was after months of work because blogs take a while to rank, right? So after months of work and building backlinks and trying all the things that you do, I started making commissions. But the problem is I wasn't making very much money. I think I got that one up to about $600 a month. Now, that was pretty cool because, after I, spent an hour a day writing an article or whatever, it was pretty much passive income. But the problem is at that point I knew it wasn't going to scale. So that's lesson number 2 here today, or the second big lesson that I learned from that experience was I realized that it is extremely difficult, and I would say even borderline impossible to dominate a small market, right? The market itself, the magnesium and calcium supplements market, when we're talking about something that is that specific, it's a relatively small market. Like obviously health supplements is huge, but that little subsegment was not very big. And in order to make a lot of money, I would have to be a dominant blog, and I would probably have to have put myself out there and become some sort of influencer in the space. I was like, no, stay away from small markets. What you're better off doing is you're better off going into a big market where there's tons of money. Even if you're not ready, even if you don't think like you can compete, just trying to get a small piece of that much bigger pie, right? So that was the big lesson there. Stay away from small niche markets unless you're ready to dominate it, which if you're listening and you're just getting started, or you're thinking about affiliate marketing, you're probably not ready to dominate a market because there's only one person in the world that can dominate a market, right? Go after the big markets and try to slice off your little piece of the pie. So, all right, cool. Now I had the product review blog experience, right? So I was like, okay, I know how to do this. So let's think about a much bigger market, right? And the next big idea was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to review sex toys, right? Because my thought is, the internet was basically founded on the back of pornography. And I was like, who wants to go into a store and buy a vibrator when you can just buy one online? So I was like, this makes perfect sense. So I was so excited. So I started creating the product reviews. And obviously I didn't test all these products, right? Most of them were for females. What I did is I just went on Amazon and I compiled a bunch of reviews, and I took the pros and cons, and I created my own reviews. And at that point, what I realized, which is not the biggest lesson, but I realized I was providing value because I was summarizing a bunch of reviews and making it easier for people to get the pros and cons of everything and then make their buying decision. Well, that worked better than the calcium and magnesium supplements niche or whatever. And because I already knew how to rank pages and build backlinks and stuff like that and structure pages so people read them, so that people took action afterwards, which all helped, the signals inside the Google algorithm, if you will, I was able to rank some pages. And even in that big market, I was able to rank 1 or 2 pages out of the 80 or so that I created that did pretty well in search. Like some of them were actually showing up number 1 for pretty strong keywords. And that reaffirmed that if you're in a bigger market, there's much more money to be made. And I did make more money. I was like probably $3,000 to $4,000 a month in passive income with that, which is a pretty considerable jump over the $600 I was making previously. And that did change my life, right? We went from, making whatever I was making, $60,000, $70,000 a year in the restaurant. And now if you add another $3,000 to $4,000 on top of that, let's say that's another $35,000 a year. Now we're making 6 figures. We're making close to $100,000 a year. So that changed my life. And I was starting to get a little burned out, but I was like, hey, we're making income where we actually have money to actually go out to dinner and actually buy nicer stuff for our newborn. And life was better. So it was worth it. But then the fourth thing I did was I got this big idea that I was getting screwed, so to speak. I don't know if that's exactly how I thought it, but I was using Amazon as my commission partner for this. And when I would send people over to Amazon and they would go buy their vibrator or whatever else they bought in the next 24 hours, I'd get like a 3 or 4% commission. So I thought to myself, well, what if I just took all the same free search traffic that's coming in, but instead of sending them over to Amazon, what if I instead built a drop shipping store and I drop ship these items directly to the customers who bought them? And then I would get like a 40 or 50% commission. It's like, that's a great idea. So I took this blog and all this traffic and I built my own drop shipping store and I found a supplier and all that stuff. And I started redirecting all my pages that were ranking over to my drop shipping store, and it worked, right? I started making money through the drop shipping store. Like on day one, it just started working, right? But that's when I learned, I guess, big lesson number 4 here. And what happened is when I shifted this over to my drop shipping store, conversions went way down because I lost the trust associated with Amazon, right? Like before I was sending people over to Amazon, everyone knew Amazon. Amazon was safe, right? Then all of a sudden I'm sending them over to my no-name store and they're like, I don't know what this is. I'm not going to buy from them. So conversions went from getting like 12%, like 12% of my clicks were buying over on Amazon, down to like maybe 1% of the clicks were buying. So I was essentially back to square one almost, right? Like I was maybe making a little bit more money, but conversions went way down. And that's when I learned that affiliate marketing is part of it. And part of the reason it's such a great business model for beginners is because you can leverage the trust that's already built with the partner that you're promoting, right? Because it's hard to build trust as a beginner in a no-name. Also, fulfillment was a nightmare, right? And I would get customer service complaints. Like people would order and like 2 days later, they'd be like, where's my order? And I had a reputable supplier inside the US, so it's not like it was taking 15 days like it was AliExpress or something, but still, like people want their stuff. They're used to getting their stuff now, right? They're used to the Amazon. So I'd have to deal with these and be like, yeah, it's on its way. It's been shipped. Here's the tracking code. And some people would ask for refunds, and sometimes orders would go to the wrong place, or they just wouldn't see it, or they would ask for refund, and it was just a nightmare. Like that's, lesson 4B or whatever is affiliate marketing is just so much better. Like it takes so much off your plate. All you have to do is focus on marketing. You let the other company handle the fulfillment and customer service and refunds and chargebacks and all that stuff. So somewhere around that time, right, when I'm sitting there with this drop shipping business that's just really pissing me off and stuff like that, we moved from San Diego to Dallas to be closer to family. We had our second child at somewhere in that point where I was creating blogs and stuff like that. And we wanted to be closer to family. So we moved to Dallas. I got another job in the restaurant industry. I was still making, $3,000 to $4,000 a month in passive income or whatever. I had switched back over to the Amazon affiliate model with the blog, and everything was going pretty good. I started collecting emails and offering other products. But one day I was working in the restaurant. It was a pretty nice restaurant in uptown Dallas. And right around the beginning of dinner, it was pretty slow. The restaurant we were in was on the second floor. The bar was downstairs. The restaurant or the dining room was upstairs. But the front windows overlooked the valet area. And we all saw this yellow 451 Ferrari pull up, which wasn't that crazy in uptown Dallas. There's a lot of expensive cars. But what was interesting about that is out gets this like 25-year-old kid in his date. I remember thinking to myself, like, how does this 25-year-old kid have this Ferrari? I'm like, what is going on? What does he do, right? Well, he happened to sit in my section. At this time, I had no idea who he was. I waited on him. They ordered well. When it came time to pay the bill, I made sure to note the name on the credit card. It was Alex Becker. It's like, I've never heard of Alex Becker. I don't know who this is, right? And I was like, all right, I'll check it out when I get home. So I gave him back his card, thanked him for coming in. He tipped incredibly well, like 50%. I think he left like $100 tip on $200-something or whatever. So that's cool. If you ever wait on him, take care of him. He tips well. I don't know if he still does, but he did back then. Anyways, I went home. And, like 1 o'clock in the morning, I started Googling, who is Alex Becker? And that's when I found Alex Becker's YouTube channel. And if you know who Alex Becker is, I mean, he's one of the premier digital marketers in the space. He's now doing his software company, Hyros. But I was like, holy cow. And I dove into his stuff. And somewhere along the next couple of weeks or so, he had come in again. They requested my section. And when his date got up to go to the restroom, I was like, I'm kind of in the space, obviously much smaller than you, but like, what are your number one tips? He's just like, just go to my YouTube channel. It's all there. And I respected that answer. I'm sure he didn't want to be bothered about it. Plus, he probably could tell that I really didn't know what the hell I was doing yet. So I just continued to dive into his content. And that's when I learned lesson number 5. And this is probably one of the biggest lessons that I've ever learned. Because you're here listening to this podcast, and I appreciate it. And I'm giving you, hopefully, some amazing, valuable information, and you're taking notes. And I'm sure you're watching other people as well who are making money online, and you're watching their stuff and taking notes. But what I learned in that moment, and what happened after that moment, was instead of focusing so much on what these marketers are telling you, right? Obviously, they're giving valuable information. They have to, because that's the only way you build trust and grow the brand. But instead of focusing so much on what they're telling you, focus on what they are doing. And you can learn a lot from that. Like, for example, I don't know if you know who Ryan Pineda is. I think I pronounced that right. I happened to catch one of his TikToks or Reels today, so that's why he's on the forefront of my mind. But he was talking about couch flipping. And when he first got started, he flipped couches. He bought them and cleaned them up and resold them. He made like $12,000 in a month. So what a lot of people who are in the beginning stages of becoming an entrepreneur do is they're like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to go do couch flipping. I mean, it worked for him. And then they try to go do couch flipping. They try to match someone who invented the idea, or at least made it popular, and they think they're going to make $12,000. Well, you have no idea how hard he hustled. You don't know how many hours he worked. You don't know how many miles he put on his car or truck delivering these things, right? You don't know how many times he reached out to try to find these couches. And it's just a lot of work for not a huge return. Like, if you can make $12,000 a month, yeah, that's great, but it's going to be really, really hard work, and you're probably not going to hit that number. Instead, just watch what he's doing and try to model that. Are you going to make $5 million or whatever he makes a year? No. But you might make 10% of that, right? And, 10% of $5 million a year it's pretty good business, right? So the thing I learned is, instead of listening to what the people are telling you, the marketers are telling you, the gurus are telling you, right? It's not nearly as valuable as modeling what they are doing, okay? So that's a big tip right there. So after that, I was like, oh man, I see what Alex Becker is doing. I'm going to do it, right? Like, I'm going to model him. So I sold my blogs and quit my job. Luckily, the product review blogs sold. I ended up making in the $30,000. I think it was $36,000 total from selling a couple blogs that I had, which was cool, right? Like, oh, that's awesome. That gave me enough confidence to quit my job. So after that, I just continued to dive into Alex Becker's content. I was like, I'm going to model what he's doing. And I saw he was creating content, mostly on YouTube at the time. He was teaching or doing micro trainings. He was trying to rank. He was trying to create videos that were relevant to customers who might buy his products, sometimes using gimmicks, sometimes using screenshots, other times using value, right? Usually he always taught something, and then he would sell digital products. He would sell courses. He was doing software at the time, selling software courses and SEO courses, I guess is what I should say, not software courses, excuse me. He's selling SEO courses, right? SourceWave. Some of the OGs will remember that. If you remember SourceWave, leave a comment or something. I'd love to see it. But anyways, he was doing this, right? He was creating content, building trust, building authority, and then selling courses. Like, cool, I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to model what the guru is doing, right? So I was like, all right, well, what skills do I have? Well, I was like, well, I know how to create a dropshipping course. And just to bring us up to speed, this is like late 2016. I was like, dropshipping, e-commerce, this is starting to become a thing online. I'll just create a dropshipping course and I'll sell it, right? I'll do it just like Alex Becker's doing. That was my big idea. So I spent like 3 weeks creating this dropshipping course, like how to get a Shopify store set up, connect the domain, how to run your first Facebook ad, all this stuff that I'd kind of, knew and learned from doing, right? I learned from actually doing this. And I created this course, and it wasn't very good, but I was like, I'm proud of it. The information was good at the very least, right? The production quality was terrible, but the information was good, and it was accurate. It's like, cool, this is my dropshipping course. How much do I sell it for? And then I thought to myself, how much do I sell it for? Who am I going to sell it to? Right? I had sold all I had in the email lists and blogs and stuff like that. I didn't have any following anywhere. I had nobody to sell this to. So what was I going to do, right? Like, I'm going to sell a dropshipping course to nobody. What am I going to knock on my neighbor's door and see if he wants to buy a dropshipping course? I was like, this sucks. But I had already created the course. So in that moment, I could have got frustrated, quit, given up, pivoted, changed directions, gone back to what I knew and started creating product review blogs or whatever. I was like, no, I can do this, right? There's an opportunity here. What am I going to do with this course that I created? So I made one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And I decided I was going to give that course away for free. So I just modified it a little bit. I made sure I had affiliate links in there, right? I figured, okay, I'm teaching people how to start a dropshipping store on Shopify. Shopify has an affiliate program. They pay you $29 for the first 2 months of any customer you refer. So I was like, cool. I got Shopify affiliate links all in there. Other software like niche and product research software had affiliate programs. So I baked those into the free course. A Facebook ads course from Max Finn, who I trusted. I knew it was good. I was like, cool. It has an affiliate program. Let's recommend that somewhere along in the training. And I baked these affiliate products right in there. I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm going to give this course away for free. How am I going to do that, right? Well, I'm going to go on YouTube. And what I did is I started a brand new YouTube channel, and I started just creating like micro trainings, trying to offer value, right? Search-friendly micro trainings, right? Things that people were searching who might be interested in starting a dropshipping store, right? Targeted micro trainings. So things like, how to connect your domain name to Shopify, how to find products to dropship, what is Shopify, Shopify review, Shopify alternatives, best e-commerce software for dropshipping, all these things. And I would just do the niche research or the keyword research is what I guess I should say. And I would create micro trainings, like 2 to 10 minutes long. And I would bring the value. I'd share my screen, show people how to do stuff, right? And then I would always close it out with, hey, if you want to learn more, I have a 100% free dropshipping course. It's 2 hours. And it'll teach you how to set up your first dropshipping store, import products, and start running Facebook ads. That would always be my call to action at the end of my videos. Well, that is where I learned a couple of things. First, I learned the audience needs to come first, right? If you want to make money, it's so much easier just to get the audience to come first and then worry about making the money. The other thing I learned when I actually created this course and started creating these micro trainings on YouTube is giving away what people are selling is a hack, right? I'm giving away a free course when other people are trying to sell a course. Okay, that is a hack. Moving the free line, as I call it, is an incredible way to explode your business because you're here being the good guy or girl when everybody else is trying to sell their $497 course. You're giving this information away for free. Well, what happened is my YouTube channel exploded. It grew extremely fast. I think I got 30,000 subscribers from zero, like within the first year. It ended up at 77,000 total. Free courses are also a great way to establish your authority when you don't have any, right? Like I was new to the space. Like I had done dropshipping, but I wasn't a dropshipping influencer. By giving away a free course and then actually putting some trainings on YouTube, I established instant authority. So much authority, and I'll tell this story, it's a little side note, that when crypto started becoming popular, all these people who were following me for dropshipping advice asked me, like, do you have a crypto course? Just because I had the authority that I established by giving away the free course, right? I knew nothing about crypto at the time. I wish I did. But people were willing to give me money for a crypto course. Now, had I not been an ethical person and I created one, I could have made tons of money on that just because I built so much authority. Now, the other thing free courses do is it helps you build trust, right? So you grow a loyal list. Not to mention, because you're giving away a free course, which is a great lead magnet with high perceived value, you build a huge list. But the most important thing, this is a big lesson, the most important thing that the free course does is it builds people's belief, right? It takes your leads and it builds the belief in themselves. And that's when I realized that people will pay attention to you or follow you or get on your email list when they believe in you. Like whatever you're talking about, like, yep, he seems trustworthy. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to subscribe to their channel. I'm going to jump on their email list, right? But people buy, right? They take action when they believe in themselves, right? Because if they don't believe in themselves and their ability to get the results, they're not going to buy the course or the product. They're not going to buy the software if they're like, it's not going to work for me. Well, the course laid everything out. And so as people are going through the course, they're like, holy crap, I can do this. Because I made it so clear, I provided so much value, I showed everything step by step, right? So my conversions to the people who joined the free course over to the number of people who opened a Shopify store and actually kept it open were incredible. I made close to $250,000 just in the $29 Shopify commissions. That's a lot of people, right? I was like, all right, these free courses things are pretty cool. So the next thing I did after that, this is about a year into it. This is actually 11 months into it, right? I'd been creating content on YouTube. We're in 2017 now. I was giving away this free course, making a bunch of Shopify commissions. Life had changed, right? Life would never be the same at that point. And I think it was mostly because I decided to give before I got. But I was building this list. So I decided to run my first product launch, right? There was this product launch going on. It was for a done-for-you print-on-demand store, right? This company, it would build your print-on-demand stores so you could sell T-shirts and they could customize their own T-shirts, and then you would take the money and then they would fulfill it, and then you would, pay the difference and you would keep your margins, right? Now, the cool thing about this store is it was also, not only done for you, but it had some pretty cool real-time mock-up potential. So if you uploaded a logo or, your text that you wanted on this shirt, it would actually show you what it looked like in real time. So that was pretty cool. That really helped conversions. So it's like, wow, this is great. And they were going to do a 2-week product launch. Basically, hey, they had a bunch of webinars and live sessions and stuff, and it was $2,000, and I would make $1,000 for everyone who purchased the Done For You store. So I ran this promotion to my list. And once again, this was less than a year after I started again from scratch, and I made $44,000 in affiliate commissions in 2 weeks. And once again, life had changed. And what I learned there, the big lesson I learned there, is I learned a lot about the importance of not just having a list of email subscribers, but having a list of people who trust you. And the other thing I learned during that product launch is how effective a cart closing sequence really is, right? I think I made $20-something thousand in the first 2 days of that 14-day launch. And then I made a couple sales throughout the 2 weeks it was launched. And then I think I made I don't remember exactly, so don't quote me on this, but $28,000 on the last day. And I remember, I'll never forget it. I was sitting there, and I know it's close day, and I'm sending 5 emails to my list, and I'm just watching the stats. $1,000 commission, $1,000 commission. I was like, holy shit. Right? So that was pretty cool. That was a big day for me back then. And once again, the importance, it was really built on the back of the trust I had built. The launch was successful because of the trust that I built with my list by providing so much value up front, and the cart closing sequence, right? That did a lot. So that was really cool. Urgency is big in marketing. So after that, a little, some time went by, and this was 2018 now. I think it was February. Might have been March. I started seeing all these emails, right, that were coming into my inbox, and they were from every list I have ever subscribed to, all the big marketers, right? They're hit me up oh my God, in 7 days, this is going to be huge. And they were all talking about the Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi Knowledge Business Blueprint launch. And this was going to be a course that taught you how to take the information inside of you and turn it into a business, right? Basically, whatever you're good at, whatever you have some expertise in, you can turn this into a business. It's going to show you how to do it. And I knew that this was going to be huge because my inbox was lighting up. So what I did is I went out and I purchased the course, $2,000, purchased it soon, an hour later. And I went through the whole course in like 48 hours. Just like watched it nonstop until I got through the whole thing. And I promoted that to my list, which was a terrible fit for this product, right? My list at this time wanted to do drop shipping and easy stuff. They didn't have any information inside of themselves that they wanted to turn into a business, because that's why they were looking at drop shipping, right? They wanted to do something faceless. They wanted to do something that didn't tap into their personal brand, because they didn't have a personal brand and they didn't want to create one. So this is a terrible fit for my audience. But by going through that course and actually learning the product that I was going to be promoting, right? This is the next valuable lesson that I learned. I discovered a unique angle that would fit for my list. So when I promoted that over the 10-day launch period or whatever it was, 8 or 10 days, I didn't use the standard email swipes that every affiliate launch gives you. This differentiated me because I wasn't just like every other email in the inbox, but also this showed the value of the product in terms that my audience would appreciate. And I did, I think, $33,000 or $34,000 in 10 days with that launch. And once again, that's pretty good considering my audience was a terrible fit. Well, the lesson I learned there is obviously it's important to know the product that you're promoting. But I learned the importance of tailoring your message to your audience, right? Instead of using standard swipes, I spoke to them in a way that would resonate with them. People want to be helped, right? If we're selling products or promoting products or software as an affiliate, right? We're trying to offer them something that will help them. People want to be helped in the way they want to be helped. Okay? The other thing I learned was because of the buzz of that, right, with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi behind it, I think Russell Brunson was even in there in the first one, there was a buzz. And that's when I learned that as an affiliate, right, if you're an affiliate marketer, it's better to ride the wave than try to create it, right? It's so much easier to jump on the buzz, right, the thing everybody's talking about, and just get your little slice. Hopefully you're starting to see some patterns here. So getting towards the end here, or up to date, at some point in late 2018 or maybe early 2019, I started getting sick of the dropshipping industry, right? The gurus that were launching courses, the way the industry and the market was going. I don't like it. I was a little burned out by it, right? So I decided to create some courses, right? I had built up authority. I'd learned a lot of cool things about creating a brand and email marketing and all this stuff over my couple of years of experience. I was like, all right, I'm going to create some courses. So I did. I launched some courses. And those did well. For like a year and a half or so, all the money I made came from my email list. I really wasn't creating that much content anymore because my YouTube channel was tailored and targeted towards people wanting to do dropshipping. I wasn't in that industry anymore, right? So for a year and a half, I just made money from my list. So that's the power of email marketing. But what I really learned through that experience of creating my own products was, of course, how to create a better product. But I learned how to write VSLs, video sales letters, and webinars. And my life changed again because now I knew how to sell. Now, I don't have time to go into all the ins and outs and everything I learned about VSLs and webinars. This podcast would be 10 hours long if I did that. But what I can tell you is if you want to write a video sales letter, which typically sells a product that is sub $500 in my testing, if you don't know who John Benson is, I think he spells his name Jon, and then Benson is Benson. Dive into his content about copywriting and writing video sales letters. I think he calls himself the inventor or the creator of the video sales letter. I don't know if that's true, but his stuff works. It converts really well. And once again, it works great for sub $500 products. If you want to learn webinars, which are typically maybe a little bit longer, you're doing more teaching, but you're also pre-framing and overcoming objections and then making some sort of offer. There's two good ways to learn a webinar format. And if you learn the webinar, you can adapt it to different products, different offers. You can create different webinars that sell the same products in different angles and stuff like that. But if you want to learn how to write webinars, start with the book Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. And also just watch other people's webinars. Take notes, but don't take notes on what they're telling you. Take notes on the flow of their webinar. What are they doing in the first 30 seconds? Then the next 2 minutes. Then what are they doing when they're teaching? And then how do they stack their offer and What's their call to actions? Do they add urgency? Do they add any sort of guarantees, right? Like actually take notes on what they're doing and the flow of it, right? And that's how you're going to learn how to write great webinars that convert. And webinars and content are probably the things that drive like the most value, right? You got to create content, but if you write a webinar, you can print money. So that was pretty good. So now we're at, late 2019-ish, like let's say November 2019. And now I was really kind of itching to get back into the affiliate marketing game, right? The product creation stuff was cool and it was fulfilling, but it's a lot of work compared to affiliate marketing. Let's be completely honest. I was like, all right, what are we going to do? So I looked around for some products and some offers, and I saw that Legendary Marketer was a thing. I didn't know anything about it, but I saw a couple people had made over $1 million with it. And at the time I was like, oh, I didn't know I could make $1 million from an affiliate marketing product, right? I thought you could make like 250 or 300,000, right? Or a $50,000 launch, right? Like that was my mindset. Like that was my perception of the market or the industry. It's like, oh man, that'd be cool. I'd like to make $1 million. So I signed up for Legendary Marketer. I went through their 15-day business builder challenge, right? I learned the product first, and I was like, well, I'll just send a little test email. I think I sent 2 emails, maybe 3 emails to my list. I wasn't pushing it real hard. I wasn't promoting the crap out of it. I wasn't offering bonuses. I was just like, hey, this is a cool thing that I went through. Go check it out. So people signed up for the business builder challenge, and I made somewhere between $8,000 and $9,000 off those 2 emails. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like this works, right? The money was fine at that point, right? Like $8 or $9 grand was awesome. I'll take it. But the thing I learned there is it validated the offer. And it's so important to have a good offer in affiliate marketing. And then the big lesson I learned through that short experience there, those 1 or 2 emails, is I learned that selling high ticket stuff really is easier to make more money. I mean, the price is really irrelevant. Like, it's just easier to make money when you're selling expensive stuff, right? As long as the offer converts. So you got to have a good offer. So I took the holidays off, right? After that initial test, I think I did that like I said, November or something like that. I took most of December off, and I took most of January off. And then I figured, okay, I'm going to go all in with this Legendary Marketer thing. And so I started planning my attack, so to speak, in February of 2020. And I created my funnels and my follow-up and all that stuff, my email sequences, and I started promoting. I started on YouTube doing the same formula. I started a brand new channel. I started creating YouTube videos. I started with real product-specific stuff like Legendary Marketer Review, how I made $8,000 sending 2 emails with Legendary Marketer and all that stuff. And then I expanded outward, right? What is affiliate marketing? How to do affiliate marketing? The difference between high ticket, low ticket affiliate marketing. And then I expanded out from there. I was like, how to make money online, how to make $100 a day, how to make $1,000 a week, so on and so forth. And I started small, right? That's the lesson there. I started small and kind of expanded out. And that's the great thing about affiliate marketing. If you're starting from scratch, you can go after the warm traffic that's searching for product reviews. And then that was starting to work, and I was starting to build momentum, and I quickly got that up to probably $5,000 to $7,000 a month. So I was like, cool, this is awesome, right? That's only like 5 to 7 high ticket sales a month. And that's when I found TikTok. I don't remember. I think this is like April 2020. That was the introduction of short form content for me. And I saw the capabilities of it and how it was going to change the game. So I went all in on TikTok. And the lesson that I learned by going all in on TikTok was how to leverage the hook story offer content framework, right? We start off with a hook, something to stop the scroll and attract the attention of our ideal customer. Then we tell a story or give a tutorial or show an opportunity, right? Like that's the middle part of the content that gets people invested. And then we give them an offer, tell them what to do next. And in that case, I was like, hey, if you want to learn more, go watch this free video that will show you more about this opportunity. And I would send them to my 2-page funnel. The first page would pre-frame them. They'd enter their email. They'd get on my list so I could follow up with them. The second page was just a bridge page video talking about affiliate marketing, what to do next. And it had a button with my affiliate link over to the video sales letter for the Legendary Marketer Business Builder Challenge. That was it. And thanks to TikTok, things really took off, right? 7 months later, I had hit $44,000 a month with this fairly new program. I already mentioned that I learned how to leverage the hook story offer content framework, which Russell Brunson is another great example of stuff that he teaches is hook story offer. So dive into hook story offer for Russell Brunson. But the other thing I did is when I built out that follow-up sequence, instead of focusing on selling or hyping, I really focused on creating emails and follow-up that really focused on building the belief in my prospects. You can do this because this is beginner friendly because I was scared to start too, but I'm glad I did because, right? Building the belief in the prospects. Because remember, I already told you, people will follow you when they believe in you, but they're going to buy when they believe in themselves. Also, I gave away templates, funnel templates. Hey, you want to promote products just like this? Here's the funnel I'm using. You can copy it. ClickFunnels has a feature where you can just one-click import. You don't know what to send in follow-up emails? Here, copy mine. Because the idea is they would go buy into Legendary Marketer, they would buy the blueprints, they would turn around and promote it, right? So I focused a lot on building the belief in my prospects and giving away those funnels to help people get started, taking some of the load off their shoulders worked incredibly well. My back-end conversions were great. Probably the best of anyone at the time who was running 100% automated conversion process, right? There were people who were in the DMs and stuff like that, and they would sell 1 out of every 15 customer into the big, expensive back-end products. I was doing 1 out of 20 completely automated, not talking to anybody. Just creating 1 or 2 TikToks a day, sometimes none, and just sending people to my funnel. So that worked really well. Thankfully, people took action because I built the belief in them. A lot of people signed up for ClickFunnels to use my free templates. I was giving them away at the time. And I got a lot of people sign up for ClickFunnels, which is the software that hosts the funnels or the websites. Well, then I won the Dream Car Award for becoming one of their top affiliates. So ClickFunnels brought me on stage. They gave me an award, and they gave me every month to buy my dream car. So that is where I learned that software, if you're going to promote software, which is great because it has monthly recurring revenue and it's a need for a business, right? You need website software if you're going to have a business online. It's best promoted when it's tied to another paid offer. So for people to use these funnels that I was giving them, they had to go join Legendary Marketer. Now, it wasn't like I was offering a bonus because that wouldn't have been automated. It wasn't like, if you join Legendary Marketer, you can get my funnels for free. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, here's my free funnels. Just take them. If you don't do anything with them, that's fine. But if you want to use them, you probably better go join Legendary Marketer, and you're going to have to sign up for ClickFunnels accounts. So that was pretty good. And now I'm earning a bunch of monthly recurring revenue with ClickFunnels, and they gave me a free car. The other thing I learned from that was implementation, right? Like getting people to take action. In this case, keep their ClickFunnels software open past the free trial. It really requires them to believe that they're going to be successful with it. So back to that, you got to build the belief in your prospects, all right? So that did well. I told you in 7 months or whatever, I was making $40,000+ just from Legendary Marketer. I had all this monthly recurring revenue from ClickFunnels, right? Like I was over $50,000 a month. Plus I had this list and all this cool stuff. So pretty consistently at that point. But then I started to lose traction with that. My content wasn't getting as much reach. I wasn't generating as many leads, so I needed to do something. So instead of just promoting Legendary Marketer to a bridge page funnel, what I did is I actually created a free course that taught people affiliate marketing. Well, my leads skyrocketed. My content started performing better because I was giving away this free course instead of trying to sell them into this $7 challenge, right? I generated a bunch of leads. Tons of people came to my free course. And you might be thinking, Brian, how do you promote a course by giving away a free course? Well, simple. I taught them a ton in that free course that really gave them the belief and showed them how affiliate marketing is not a scam or whatever, and how anybody can do it. And here's the things. And people are like, oh my gosh, I can do that. That's what I've been searching for. But at the end of the course, there's just a missing piece to the puzzle. And that was knowing the product that you're promoting and the community that Legendary Marketer had built. Yeah, you can do all these things, but are you really going to be successful if you don't know the product you're promoting, if you can't answer questions, and you're not learning the language that is going on inside the community, right? So that was the value proposition of them joining Legendary Marketer after they went through my free course, and it worked, converted really well. And that's when I learned that if you're going to promote a course, right, that has all these things, tons of information, different functions, different opportunities, different parts, different communities, right? Like, you don't have to promote the whole thing. You don't have to overload people with information saying, hey, this is why it's so great because, and give them 48 different reasons why they should buy your thing. Just sell the one or two things that you love the most, that you think are the most valuable, right? I've sold hundreds of $2,500 blueprints and made generous commissions on all of them. And I never sold the blueprints. I sold the need to know what you're promoting and the community that Legendary Marketer had built and the language that they speak, so to say, so you can create congruent campaigns. And that's how I sold a bunch of blueprints. So after a couple years with that, I decided to launch my own course. Once again, I used the free course model. I created a free course that taught people affiliate marketing, and that free course sells them into my back-end program. Simple as that. It converts. Because a free course acts like a sideways webinar. And all I do is I highlight the opportunity, I build desire first, then I build belief, and then I offer a missing piece at the end. I call this the potential for positive results amplifier. So when I sell them into my VIP program, I'm not just selling them more information, because I already gave them a free course that gave them a ton of great information, right? I sold them the potential for positive results amplifier. What's going to make it more likely that I'm going to succeed? And in my VIP program, that's the coaching that I offer, in addition to the advanced training, obviously. And it converts. I think I did a $96,000 launch with that. It's continued to perform well for over a year and a half now. It's still doing great. Very consistent. Actually growing, but doing very well. So that's how I learned the power of this free course model. I call this lesson number 15.5 if you're keeping track. 4, 5, 6 months after I launched the course, it was doing well. I decided to add a one-time offer. Actually, 2 of them, a one-time offer and an order bump right after the free course registration. So I give people a free course, they register for the free course, then it sends them to a page, hey, your registration link's on the way, check your email inbox. However, before you go, I want to offer you the opportunity to enhance your experience, right? What could I give you that would make this course better? And I sell them a $9 one-time offer. It's like, you can get it on this page, one-time offer. You can get a $9 clone funnel campaign or done for you funnel campaign. That converts at 11.5%. There's also an order bump on there, which is what I call Viral Traffic 101. It's more advanced training. That's a the $9 funnel is the one-time offer. The $37 Viral Traffic 101 is the order bump. So if they check the box, it makes $46, and that converts incredibly well. 11.5% on the front end offer. So I learned that folks will buy after chasing a freebie, so to speak, right? Like, that's the big thing in the industry. Like, oh, you're just going to bring a bunch of looky-loos and freebie seekers. But 11.5% on the front end offer is incredible. And it further reaffirmed my decision to use the free course model, because I'm giving away a free course. Not only is it converting really well in the one-time offers, not only do we already know it's converting on the back end because I'm holding this missing piece or this potential for positive results amplifier, but I'm generating 3 to 5 times as many leads as anybody else because, well, I shouldn't say as anybody else because some people go massively viral, but I'm generating 3 to 5 times more leads than I would if I was trying to sell them into a low-ticket course, because I'm giving away free stuff, my content performs better, and there's no risk. So everyone's like, yeah, I'll take it. So it's really a good deal. And the last thing I did, the most recent change, is I tweaked the back-end product pricing a little bit. I added a payment plan. So before, the VIP program was $997, which, is mid-ticket or high-ticket, depending on how you're looking at it. But there's people who can't afford or can't justify spending close to $1,000 on a course. So I was like, I need to add a payment plan that way I can make more money, right? So that's the idea. So what I did is I took the initial back end price, which was $9.97. I added 50% to it. Sort of. Essentially, I made it $149, right? I added 50% to the price, which comes out to right around $1,500, and I divided that by 10 and then took $1 off to make it sexier. So I basically created a payment plan that was $149 a month for 10 months. It's like, all right, everybody can justify $149, which is obviously not true, but a lot more people can. Well, I discovered some amazing things when I did that. So obviously I got a bunch of buyers, right? There were people who were on the fence that couldn't afford $9.97 or couldn't justify it. $149 a month, great. I can cover that. That's like one dinner a month at a nice restaurant. So I got a bunch of people that came in, right? The other thing that happened is I built monthly recurring revenue. My monthly recurring revenue started to go up because I got all these people on a 10-month payment plan. This is awesome, right? Now I'm making more money in a month than I used to make in at least 6 months, maybe a year, right? Automatically, because you're building monthly recurring revenue. But here is the most amazing thing, the thing that shocked me, the thing that blew me away. The reason I will always put a 10-month payment plan in any product I ever create. And I think the 10-month payment plan was important. So when I took that initial price, added 50%, took some money off, I came up $149 times 10. Well, because it's times 10, people can very easily decipher that it's $1,490 or close to $1,500, right? I don't think this would have worked as well if I made it a 9-month payment plan or a 6-month payment plan because, $279 times 6, what the hell is that? I don't know, $500, $20,000? I don't know, right? But it's $149 times 10. Pretty much everyone can do that math. $1,490, right? That's easy to calculate. So what that does is that very quickly sets a price anchor that's much higher than my initial product. So now my initial $9.97 looks like a steal. It looks like a value. It looks like you're saving 33% because you got the price anchor set with that payment plan. And the $9.97 actually converted better as well. Blew my mind. So that's where we are today. Hope you enjoyed this. I have some really cool stuff in the works, but it's early. It's not quite ready yet, right? So make sure you follow the podcast or find me on social media. That way you can keep an eye on what I'm launching. It's going to be one of one, meaning nothing like this in the industry. Nobody's teaching this. It's going to be really cool. But most importantly, just thanks for listening to the podcast here. Thanks for watching next week and listening to Andre's episode from last week if you do. Hopefully I was able to bring some value here today. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast.